Okay, next up, this is Lucy. Lucy. She is a full hybrid monitoring system set up around 15,000 years ago. Her and her sisters of 6 were responsible for translating and storing data here on planet Earth in a very cool, calm, and collective manner. I feel a very strong bond with Lucy and Annie Shell. And to understand, Lucy is also the ones that you guys saw in the on my Facebook. Me and Lucy have long conversations about it's all holographic. A lot of the stuff that's happened on Earth, a lot of the history that has been forgotten, and most importantly, the connections to our galactic heritage and where we come from and who we truly are. To understand that in a holographic way, very synergistic way, that to actually access a crystal skull, you must inside of you access one of your higher selves who actually can communicate with the crystal skull. To me, I find it's the easiest to actually communicate with the higher self that is actually similar to the race which created it. I find that if you really want to translate what a crystal skull has to say to you, well, you need to have your higher self step down and actually talk face to face. Hi, this is Lucy. What I'll do is I'll take some high-res pictures of these beautiful skulls and actually show some images of actually the translation of the information from Lucy to me. We actually have captured many awesome photos here, actually showing the translation and the light codes actually going from her little pineal to mine. And that data transfer, to understand, it's similar like a USB drive. This is a huge amount of data that can be stored on a quartz crystal. We all know this. But to understand that in accessing the Akashic records, to use the proper integrity and intent when operating, Lucy will only do as I ask in the communication and respect of the highest intent. It is very important to understand why skulls speak to some and not to others. It's also important to understand how old your oversoul is and what you wish to be responsible for and what information you wish to be responsible for. The last time me and Lucy had a little conversation, I was shown many things. And before I got too far into my Blu-ray dissertation, to understand that some of the information was relevant and some of the information was historical, but what information is relevant now?
Don Fushimi Asata Kaishme Asata Imo Fotoe Masatai Makai Shamatai Damako Shimfiti Ton some Fobuish via de Kashandata Mumish Kanta some Fototi Makatin some Fobumish Kato Mieste Yaka some Fodmi Ashita Mosh. Don't do me ashket the Mayan people. We're taken last cycle. Because their resonance match some good the access granted. Many beings were taken to protect for the great storm. What was left is what you hear about in your history books. The carnage which followed was because the main group was already taken. Those that were not taken are the ones you hear about. Very proud people. Hidden story. Hidden history. Stuck in from history books. to keep them down. No, they should get the shim. No, she fit some beach. Ooh, send the catataris and the Ridisama Baba, the
What's up, guys? Hey, I just want to make this quick little clip into the video you guys are watching right now to understand some things really quickly about what I experienced and what I'm trying to translate when I have the crystal skull, e-shell, in my hands. To understand, the crystal skull itself is a tool. To understand that that crystal skull I had in my hands is around 15,000 years old. To understand that crystal skull fully knows what happened to the Mayan people. That's what I was trying to translate in translating for you. I put little subtitles up there for you, but I also want to make this, no, I'm not going cray-cray. Hey! Check this out. When you access a crystal skull, what happens is, I felt access here and here in the back of my brain, and it felt like it was accessing the dormant parts of my brain that most humans don't access. Okay? And what it feels like is when I'm going voo voo voo, va va va, v v v. What that is energetically is a buffer. If you guys know computer terms, here comes the Blu-ray. Blu-ray, 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 download information, download information, download information. Vessel can only take so much information. Va va va, v v v. Pause. Continue pulse. Blu-ray download, Blu-ray download, Blu-ray download. Va va va, v v v. Pause. My CPU unit, my chemical computer, could only process and download a certain amount of information while translating it live feed to you, right? When I was getting that information coming through. It's like turning on a hose when you guys are outside with a high pressure tip on the hose. When you turn the hose on, when that pressure comes off, how much pressure comes out? The velocity of the information. And what happens is energetically, pause, pause. And with a skull, it's amplified because I'm getting audio, video. It's like Wi-Fi, crystal Wi-Fi. So I wanted to insert this right in there where you're like, what is going on with this guy? Okay, now, because your 3D brain can only conceive and perceive for things that it's actually experienced in the present moment or in 3D. How can you explain something to a vessel that has no experience, no visual aid, no interaction, no translation to the information that they're trying to share with you? That is the key. So, back to the Mayan people, when I was in Chichen Itza, where my homie Kukulkan, that's his territory, I noticed when I was there, I was like, where's all the people? Why does it feel like this is an aftermath of something? And what I was getting from that crystal skull was the majority of the Mayan people were taken. Because they're awesome, high resonance, mid-cycle, they went ahead and went up. It's February 7th now, 2014. Okay, I'm your little translator. I can read the crystal code. The voltage coming through my body, though, is taking me 4.5 years doing my activations on this planet. And to hold that frequency, when that one voice comes through, took everything I could do. And actually, you can hear me say, vessel can't hold, vessel unstabilizing. It's such a high frequency that it actually, what does it feel like, Ryan? Well, it feels like you're, from the inside out, you're vibrating so fast. It's not, your mouth, your 3D mouthpiece, has a very hard time being able to translate the information from Blu-ray download, light code, Blu-ray download, star language, English, 3D. Hi. So, to understand that buffering speed, when I start really going, to understand that I understood what that was later. When I watched this footage tonight, and I was in the steam room, it took me a while to be able to process and translate what I was seeing and to actually understand the energetics behind it. So, alright. With that, ladies and gentlemen, let's continue the show. Alright. Namaste. Continue.
Storms come to remind you. Some for your place in the cosmos. What you see now are just remnants. Very great network. Places. Some frequency too high. Vessel can't hold. Stabilize. Many move. Rush Murinesco Niga Sondes Marine Sorde Mavukune Vukunuste Zombaiske Vide Shoto Medishke. Greetings, Satatatishte. Mumu voices not speak from you. From the past. Decoded. Zatatatata sent. Mumu translate.
Another great example of the type of consciousness and how we used to operate back in the day. Ladies and gentlemen across planet Earth, we used to use crystals in Atlantis. Ladies and gentlemen, and Lemuria. How did we store information? How did we transmit information? How did we utilize energy? How did we store energy? Crystals. Okay? And so what happens is, with a very gifted and awesome being that might want to leave an aspect of themselves here on Earth to be used by the children later, some very awesome beings will make that sacrifice to actually encode their consciousness in a crystal such as this. And Michelle has done just that. And she's beautiful. She is amazing. She is heart space. Her color, which always exudes from her, is pink. You too, Lucy. But in the same manner with these two beautiful skulls. Hey, look! Yes, hold on, the universe is calling. Shh. You don't say. No way, girlfriend. Oh my god, she said what? What happened? Oh my god! Hey, for real though. I know I make jokes, but I'm going to show you guys some high definition images of these crystals. They're absolutely fantastic. And little secrets. Here's a little secret for you guys who have your own crystal skulls. And for those that actually are the holders of these crystal skulls here on planet Earth, how do you communicate and transmit information via LED lights? Do you understand that these crystals were created to be utilized in a frequency and vibrational form, hence light, to be able to be absorbed into, say, accessing your cerebral cortex, your pineal gland, let's just say. However, since if you have an underdeveloped pineal gland, you can't access the information stored here. You can transmit and amplify the energy with an LED light, okay, or a ring of LED lights, through different spectrums to actually enhance that light inside of you, inside of your viewing glass. For example, if your viewing glass has 1 candle light of power, and it takes 15 candlelight of power to access eShell. To understand, there are other techniques that you can use to do just that. Okay, that's all I'm going to say about the secrets. But for all you crystal holders out there, little tip from your brother Ryan, the Galactic fam out there, LED lights, using full spectrum LED lights, light rings can aid in accessing the auric field of these devices so that you may actually operate and view them with the correct integrity. Okay, first and foremost, I want you to completely understand, what are they measuring, ladies and gentlemen? Your heart. What is your intent? If you have poo-poo intent, no information. I tell you now. Okay, Lucy, the goddess, she is absolutely amazing. She can access a 3D to a 5D conscript of information. Meaning that if I was a 5D dimensional being in my castle sitting in a golden palais, and one of my 3D vessels had one of these, we can communicate back and forth to one another. Okay. However, what is the main conception of that information? Well, if you guys want to think when they unravel a piece of film, I'm going to try to explain what I experienced. Okay. When me and Lucy locked eyes, I'm going to show you the images. What happens is my vessel will actually morph until my eyes can match the frequency that Lucy is transmitting on. Once we can sync, then it accesses the deep aspects of your brain that you do not use here. In essence, I love Lucy because she allows me to, it's like a tool. It's like, Lucy, can we work on developing the underdeveloped parts of my brain in this quarantine zone that we have here on Earth, right? But to understand that it's a tool. It's always been a tool. And it's more of a homeostasis of a friend sharing with a friend. That is what you must understand. Okay. Any crystals. You guys have crystals out there under your bed, crystals that you've decoded, encoded, taken into tombs, taken into sacred locations around Earth. I always recommend a Lemurian crystal because they're recorders. If you guys don't know what Lemurian crystals look like, they're the ones with the bands that go across. Whoop, whoop, whoop. If you want to think about that, those little bands allow you to record information. They also have information recorded on them. Okay. So, how you guys doing out there? It's so on. I can't even really begin to express how excited I am. And to understand that many of us who are actually receiving this download with me, and that I received from my brothers and sisters who actually, when I was accessing this information, they were like, yo, bro, I was lit up like a Christmas tree last night. What was going on? Well, it's because one of your brothers has accessed some of the Akashic records to understand, first and foremost, what is relevant right now in the present moment for us to be focusing on. And that is unity. That is unity of all things, all the aspects of consciousness. From here, all the way back until I said last cycle. Okay? To understand that fundamentally, the sharing and uniting of all is what is most important. And to understand that tools such as Lucy, I'll show you up. She's like absolutely amazing. Hey, this is my. You guys ever seen the movie? What's it called? With Vin Diesel. Come on, what's the movie called? Riddick. You guys ever seen Riddick? And the dude's like, "Hi, I'm the Emperor of the Deal," and then he's like, "Hi, this is my other self. Hi, this is my other self." Well, let's stay on the light side, on the left. If you guys are confused out there, left side of your body is where your heart is located. Hence, when you're splitting the bandwidths, going all the way up, left, light, heart, to remind you, is on your left side of your body. All right. Those are guys who rock the night side. My other brothers out there, keep it flavor. When you're doing some of your activations, you might understand that they go, what's this all about? Some of us have that DNA encoding, and if you do, you can message me, I can help you out with that. Okay? And most importantly, as ambassadors on planet Earth, to understand the responsibility that we have for unifying and harmonizing all beings, all bandwidths, and all frequencies, all the way from the Earth plane all the way up. We're not interested in pointing fingers on who did what. That solves nothing. We are not interested in creating more separation of deals. What we are interested in is solving the logarithms that face all beings on this planet, above and below. Finding solutions, answers, bypassing the past, solution-based processing, solution-based programming. That is who we are, that's why we are here. Okay, it's not to point fingers at why things are the way they are. It's rather to take the little toys away from the kids in the sandbox, those bad guys out there, and go, let me show you a different way how to play. Now you're with love and compassion. Okay? Love and compassion. Love and compassion. My female aspects, they're very sexy. They help me out with that every single day. And coming from my heart, not using malice, not using judgment. Because when very cool, calm, and collectively, every time I judge or have a bad thought about something, my oversoul fires off and it sounds like Sean Connery on steroids. And it goes, Ryan, judge not, yet ye be judged. So, those of you guys who can't hear, okay, your throat chakra is not activated. Do you understand that, Dalai Lama has a very famous quote, which I love. What is your definition of love? The Dalai Lama. to the Dalai Lama. And the Dalai Lama says, absence of judgment. Okay? I would like to add a little tidbit to that, and compassion for all things. Okay? Because it's in that compassion that you earn your white robes. It's in that compassion is what you actually turn into balls of light, and bang goes your aura and your crown fires, you know? Because you've understood the game of duality. You've understood how to sit in the center. You've understood how to embrace the night, the space which holds the light, and how that interaction works. Okay? And if you like the yin and yang, inside the center of darkness, there is light. Okay? And inside the center of light, there is darkness. It's a nice cosmic engine which fires and runs this universe. Okay? To understand that. And on both sides of this duality game, to understand, let us enjoy our experience together collectively. Let us be one. Let's not, however, mess our chessboard game up, you know, like the actual game. Let's take care of the planet, first and foremost. If we got beefs, star systems got beefs with one another, okay. I understand there's some, you know, shingy bang bang that's happened. Okay, let's try to take better care of our front yard and our backyard, though, and our neighbors' yards. That's the most important thing. Let's take care of the planet, take care of our resources, and be a little more responsible with our actions. And actions is what this world needs right now, is action. Action through beings like us, beings like you, and Team Light is here to help facilitate just that. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to have a long conversation with my new girlfriends. Lucy? Love you. And Ishel! Oh, Ishel. She's so pretty. Holographically, it's amazing. What I want to tell you, though, is that in having the responsibility, having a sense of humor, and understanding through harmonizing your decision-making process, understanding the resonance in which you exude, and how you send that resonance of love and compassion through all things that you come in contact with. That is what being a galactic being is all about. That is what being an angelic being is all about. And that is how Source, Creator, God, Yahweh, whatever vernacular term that you want to put into that box, okay, wants us to treat each other with respect, responsibility, love, compassion, appreciation, and forgiveness. To do that, though, you must have your mind centered. You must be able to listen to your heart and your own individual intuition. And once you can do that, my brothers and sisters, it's game on. So I love you guys very, very much. I'll see you all very, very soon for another Team Light Live. And I'll definitely add some awesome HD images of these beautiful ladies. All right. Namaste and la catch. I'll see you all very soon. Peace.